When was the last time you made a bad decision? A decision where the context wasn't clear. A decision that wasn't based on a holistic picture, but only on some fragments of it. I'm sure every one of us has experienced the consequences of bad decisions. To take the right decisions for our future, we need a new kind of future thinking. A kind of thinking that is able to consider diverse information and grasp the complexity of the world outside, combine it with the reality of our own organizations, and enable us to form better decisions. We have designed this new kind of decision-forming procedure. It's called grounded thinking. If design thinking is useful for ideation and developing creative solutions, grounded thinking is useful for forming better decisions. Grounded thinking is evolved from the grounded theory, which is a methodology in social sciences. I would like to inspire you with our grounded thinking approach. For this purpose, we have developed the grounded model, consisting of 5 elements anchored in 3 spaces. Space 1 is the context space. That means are the topics you want to decide in or out your organization. Space 2 describes what the context has to do with your communication and in which relation stands it to earning money or not. Space 3 is the aggregation of these 4 elements before and helps to define actions out of them. I would like to help you to look into your future in a less fragmented and more systemic way, and with the grounded model, provide you in forming better decisions. But before we think grounded, let's start at the beginning. I have a task for you, a little task. I'm looking for the name of a person. The first of you who knows the name, please call it out loud. It's a young girl, 9-10 years old, strong. Very, very strong. She has red hair. And her father is a pirate. He's king of an island, it's called Takatuka Land. She has a horse and, I'm sure you know who I mean. Yes, it's Pippi Langstrumpf. Is there anyone here who does not know who Pippi Langstrumpf is? Perhaps you remember the message that Pippi had for us. Ich mache mir die Welt, wie sie mir gefällt. I create the world exactly as I like it to be. And in principle, we all do this just like Pippi. We create our own world from the information available to us. And that what we believe to be the truth. This phenomenon is otherwise known as Constructivism. Constructivism means that we do not simply record or map the world with our perceptions, but construct our own individual model of it. Languages, numbers, models, stories, metaphors are all means of representing the world around us. We select information, construct it through the prism of our experiences, our knowledge, our beliefs and values, and then perhaps form an opinion or even make a decision. But this map of ours is not the world. To avoid wrong constructions and to enhance our perception and the evaluation of the world, we have designed the grounded model. Let me describe the 3 ingredients of the grounded model to you. Firstly, contours. When we are able to identify and define the contours of the world around us clearly, we are able to understand things faster and better. Presently, we are experiencing a blurring of contours. Temporary events have become more and more opinion-forming. A Donald Trump, for example, is able to reduce events to a simple tweet, often producing enormous and painful effects. We need light and color, shadows and structures to make the contours of things clear and visible to us. Without clear contours, we are unable to orient ourselves and navigate effectively. The second ingredient is the big picture. Let me show you some individual perspectives. These people each perceive from their individual and isolated point of view quite different things. Each of them constructs his or her own world, but without having grasped the big picture. Perhaps you can see the big picture behind. It's an elephant. Grasping the big picture in our complex world requires an extended focus. When we don't have an understanding of the big picture, our judgments and decisions are usually suboptimal. The third ingredient is systems thinking. Systems thinking is a holistic approach that helps us identify patterns of behavior and structures. We each belong to one or many systems. The greatest system around us is the planet Earth. All we do as individuum, as family, as organization or as society stands in relation to our planet. All systems and therefore organizations behave dynamically and consist of any number of elements and subsystems bound to diverse interdependencies. System boundaries ensure the identity of a system and provide us with contours in understanding a context. The identity of a system is closely bound to its purpose. These three ingredients characterize the basis of grounded thinking: working with clear contours, having a big picture in mind, and using systems thinking has led us to the grounded model. You remember the grounded model. And you may think, if you look at it, okay, this looks simple enough. But we all know that the simpler something looks, the more there is behind it. Think about using your smartphone. It is very easy to use without mastering the whole complexity inside. This is how you may imagine the grounded model. Allow me now to explain to you how you can use the grounded model. First of all, each case of usage is individual. The outcome will depend on your context and the systems you are involved in. It makes a huge difference if you are a startup entrepreneur or leading a company that exists since decades, or if you are a doctor running a medical office or a college professor, or if you are a teacher or working in a hospital. And most crucial of all is the question you want to work on. The clearer and more precise your question, the clearer and more precise the answer will be. Working with the grounded model is a process with 7 steps. I would like to invite you to think with me as I explain the 7 steps. It's a bit a crash course getting in touch with the model. The most important question you as an entrepreneur or in your organization face in forming the future is: what does future mean for our organization? What does it depend on? In step one is a brainstorming. It's in the grounded theory, this process is called coding. We say creating hashtags of our thoughts. What comes to your mind in answering your question? Step 2, we have gathered a lot of codes or a hashtag of our thoughts. Here we cluster these into bundles and bring similar things together. Now we come to the first layer of the grounded model, the context space. Here we need to decide which bundles are inside and which are outside our organization. This is not as easy as it seems, because most of our codes could be both, in and out. But we need to decide in order to sharpen contours. So if you answer just the simple question, is our customer inside or outside our organization? Think about it. It will make a huge difference for the whole company, for the procedures, for the offers, for the earnings, for communities, for leadership, for services, and much more. In step 4, we reduce the codes to a more generic form and define them in more general terms. Step 5, now we enter the media space. What comes out if we ask, which message is it we want to communicate? And what effects does it have on our earnings or investments? We ask this for each code in the context space and connect these spaces. If you can't connect them, then it's not relevant. If you have a lot of messages but you can't make money with them, it's worthless in a business context. Or if you have a clear picture how to earn money but no message for the world, you will not create any impact for it. In step 6, we are ready to make the moves in the emergent space. Here we are able to identify the strongest moves in relation to the question, what does future mean for our organization? Those moves with the most interconnections to the spaces before will be those with the highest probability of successful realization. More interconnections, means higher density, means a better emergence. Step 7, in the seventh and the last step, we have to prioritize our moves. In what order do you want to implement your moves? Let me make an example we here are all in touch with. Imagine we are the team of TEDxEhrenfeld. And let's go back a few months in time, as we had to answer the question, how will we run TEDxEhrenfeld this year? What comes to your mind in answering this question? Is the event digital or in presence? How do we consider our guests? Are they inside? Are they outside? Do the speakers join us virtually, so as I do, or in presence, as others do? Are they inside or outside? Is communication an internal or an external matter? If our speakers are inside, how do they support our marketing and help for messages? What message do we have if TEDx places here, especially under the COVID-19 hygiene security conditions? What are the consequences then in the money space? What price should we take for a ticket? What costs do we have for the added effort? The results of these decisions we see here and today, to invite you all as guests and to make this great TEDx live event during COVID-19 happen. This is just one simple example of how you can work with the grounded model. You can apply grounded thinking to so many different situations and questions. Designing your business model, working on every kind of your future question, working on your identity or any change processes, and. The topics are endless. So now it's time for your first grounded model. Next time you're facing a complex situation with diverse information and you feel the need for a clear contour and aligning the inside with the outside, you may use the grounded model. I would like to invite you to start learning to work with it. The approach is smart. The results for you will be better. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and wish you well-formed decisions for a fulfilling future. Thank you.